So you would think that a book that has a roughly 4-star rating across the boards would be a good series. It'd be a good series of light novels, right? You know, coherent through all 5 books, you know, steady progression, everything. And especially if the book was recommended to you by a friend upon raving reviews, right? Well, this is my story of my year-long journey reading 5 very long light novels. And I still to this day cannot really follow the hype. I'm in love with The Villainess is now in multiple forms. It originated as 2 light novels that, upon good reviews, highly, satisfied readers, it got 3 more. And now it's a 5-series novel, and it's done, it's completed. It has a manga that is in serialization right now, and it just recently, at the time of filming, finished up season 1 of its anime adaptation. So you would think that with all of these that this would be like a pretty good series, right? It's okay. I gave it a 3. Spoiler. And speaking of spoilers, this, like most videos on this channel, will go into spoilers on this series, so if you are one of the people that do want to read this, maybe finish the series and come back after and let me know your thoughts in the comments. So the whole premise of this series is it follows the main character, Ryo, who is a Japanese office worker. Goodbye. And she is pretty much obsessed with playing the same 𝕬𝕚𝕟 game in her off hours. She's played this through multiple times. She reads everything about it. So she claims that she's more knowledgeable than the own devs, because she knows every piece of lore, she knows every in and out of the game. And all of a sudden, upon her death of exhaustion, she now takes the place of Ray Taylor, the main playable character in this 𝕬𝕚𝕟 game. And the twist for this is that instead of romancing one of the 3 princes that are the main love interests for this 𝕬𝕚𝕟 game, Ray wants to get with the Villainess, whose entire purpose as a character is to stop you from getting with your love interest. So already we have our spin, we understand what's different. And so she goes on to use her vast knowledge of this game in order to save Claire, the Villainess, from her scripted death in the game. So as you know, she's the character that is designed to antagonize and delay the romance progression for the main MC. Claire doesn't get along with her. She's from, the noble class. She comes from a wealthy family. She's going to this esteemed academy for her education. But so is Ray. But Ray comes from a very poor family. She's one of, the commoners. And she goes to the same academy based on her skill and knowledge. Their academy is doing this new thing to where they're trying to get commoners in with the noble kids and, trying to get equality amongst the town, as the king is trying to push for that. So that is the main way that they interact, is through this academy. And since Ray is trying to, 1, keep Claire from literally dying, and also trying to romance her because she is in love with this character, she goes on to talk to her, try and, relate to her, and only to receive bullying in verbal form from Claire, which Ray eats up. She absolutely loves being belittled by her, which is a theme throughout the entire novel, and we'll get to why in the first 2 it's fine, but in the later 3 it starts to get old. So in order to get closer to her and try and sway her into the path that will not end with her literal demise, Ray uses her knowledge to kind of fiddle her way into getting a role as Claire's maid. So she gets this role, and now she has a reason to be by her side basically 24/7. So these first 2 books in the series set up this world where there's the 2 classes, and the commoners rise up and rebel because they're being treated very poorly. There's a whole catalyst with a commoner student that's in the commoner movement getting attacked and critically injured by a noble in the academy grounds, and that's kind of the, you know, ember that starts the fire for this whole revolution. So time and time again, we see Ray trying to get Claire to see the point of view and perspective of a commoner rather than a nobility that she's been her whole life. She's trying to make sure that she gets on the good side, that way she can survive this entire revolution. So the best part about this entire thing is we do actually see some genuine character progression and development from Claire. We get to see her go from this bratty nobility child who does have a traumatic backstory. She lost her mother and she never got to, you know, clear up some things. Her last words to her mother were, "I hate you," because she left her on her birthday only to tragically die in a carriage accident, which I still to this day think there was foul play. But that's, yeah, the story's done. I don't know. I'll never figure that out. But we do see her go from this bratty, entitled child to someone who can see commoners as actual people instead of just people that are below her, which she constantly would say to Ray, "You don't have the right to talk to me, you're a commoner, you're below me." And so it was genuinely satisfying to see Claire really see a different class's perspective. And even in the end, when she sees this change and they're going through the revolution, she still offers herself up to be killed in front of everyone, to go down essentially with her father, because she was raised as nobility, and so she believes that she should go down as one too. But thank God Ray went through all the trouble of getting her on the people's good side, because that is the only thing that saves her, and her father both get saved. And so this entire time you're thankful that Claire got saved, but absolutely just despising her father because he seems like a completely terrible person until like the final book. So because I like to make sure that I am interpreting books right, after I finish them and get my thoughts down, I like to go online and see what other people think. And so I did this. The main one was Goodreads, and I was seeing a lot of stuff similarly. A lot of comments did point out that it was a bit creepy that this grown adult woman who is now in the body of a teenager is, for lack of a better words, thirsting over this 16-year-old girl. They did point out that that was a bit weird. But I guess as the story progresses and you find out the giant plot twist, I guess that makes it okay, but it's still super, super creepy with the limited knowledge that you have in books 1 and 2. A lot of comments also noted that they felt that the wrong elements were being rushed in the story. A lot of people, including myself, wanted more development between the relationship between Ray and Claire, because that's, you know, the main two characters. You're supposed to see development between them, see them become friends, and eventually love interests. I didn't even really care about that part. I just wanted to see the development between them because I really wanted Claire to actually become a good person. But there's a lot of focus on side characters. There's entire like mini arcs explaining them, and they go through their own debacles, which I did enjoy. Don't get me wrong, they were good. It showed some representation even. They weren't bad, but they strayed too far from the main two for a long time, and there was no making up for the time loss. They just continued. There was also, for a romance book, not a lot of romance. So this, I guess, if you don't want romance to be a main point, which I personally like it to be kind of a subplot, I was personally fine with, but a lot of people on Goodreads were very kind of disappointed that romance was not in the forefront for the entirety of the series. And I think the main one that I saw throughout most comments was, for such thick books, not a lot was explained. And I don't even care that there's 5 books and it's explained in the end, because the title of this is the light novel series that went off the rails, and it completely changes what it's going for. So I truly believe that in my heart, these were 2 books. They did very well. and the author just threw something together that was maybe not what they were originally intending to happen for this series. So I don't even think you can say, well, it was explained in book 5, so it's okay, it fills in the gaps that you know, are wondering about. No, I don't think that's true. So with a lot of book 1 and 2 focusing on the academy, the revolution, and just the two girls becoming friends and their relationship developing, the next 3 books are completely different. So again, these books seem to be made primarily from positive engagement with the first 2. And I don't think there's really any connection besides they have the same characters and the world is similar. Even the world seems to change a bit. So a quick rundown between stuff that happens towards the end of book 2 and the beginning of book 3 is the main ones. The 2 girls are together. They admit that they have feelings for each other. Yay! Progress! And they end up adopting 2 twin girls that have a blood magic curse that anytime they bleed on something, it turns into a magical stone, which is used to power magic. Shocking. Magic tools are a very big thing in this world. It's used to power everything. There's magical tools, you have them in your wands to amplify your magic. Amazing. And so all 4 of them are now living in kind of this little home. They've had a happy life. That was supposed to be their happy ending. When I read that at the end of book 2, I felt satisfied. I thought it was fine. I would have been perfectly happy if it ended there. This video wouldn't even have to be the title that it is. But after their happily ever after, Ray and Claire are summoned to go to a neighboring kingdom as students. Side note, they now have become academic teachers. They are professors at the academy that they met at. And now they're asked to go as exchange students to this kingdom of 𝕚𝕚, who is threatening to take over everything. They've already taken over surrounding smaller countries and claimed them as their own. And it's run by this headstrong queen who only sees land and fighting. There is no talking. That is for the weak. She's not the most likable person, and she makes an even worse mother than she does a queen. So once they're in the kingdom of 𝕚𝕚, everything changes. There's a huge focus on slaying demons, which have not been talked about until this point now. And apparently the kingdom of 𝕚𝕚 is bordering demon territory, which again, demons have not been talked about in this entire thing. There's been monsters, and the most that have been talked about is the kids at the academy have fought slime monsters, and that's basically it. So the fact that there's now demons and 3 archdemons that are trying to hunt down specifically Claire, it's very weird, and it starts the weird plot twist, which we'll get to in a minute. So basically, now they're tasked to just slaughter wave after wave of monsters, from goblins to bigger goblins. I don't know. I don't remember. But they're just slaughtering these low-tier goblins, demons, whatever comes at them now, and that's just it's a giant tower defense now. So these last 3 books stray so far from the original plotline. It seems like they completely lose focus on the relationship between the 2 girls, but it does tie back into it, but still completely changes it. And I will explain that thought, and it will make complete sense to you in a minute. So they're fighting for humanity. Demons want to destroy everything. And when they're trying to, in the middle of fighting demons, get the Queen of 𝕚𝕚 to stop being crazy and fight together as humanity, she's fighting with her own daughter, who's trying to get her mom to see reason. She kicks the daughter out. She tells everyone, hey, there's a demon queen. And, yeah, I'm done. The daughter comes back. She basically takes over as queen after the mother sends herself off on a suicide mission to take out one of the archdemons. And that part it's just a jumbled mess of stuff happening. So now we have a new queen. Demon Queen is out there trying to kill Claire specifically and just destroy the entire world. So my main gripe with this section of the stories is there's so many scenes that I will get invested in, but all of a sudden Ray, the main character, will have some little inner monologue, or she'll say a one-liner and it'll completely take me out of the moment. This is where I get to the point to where in the first 2 books, her making little quips and saying that she's in love and essentially simping over Claire, that was fine. She's trying to get with the love of her life and she's trying to save her from getting literally killed. But now it doesn't make any sense because they're literally in the middle of a war for humanity, and just her being like this joking, funny person, it's fine in the slice of life moments, but in the middle of important scenes, it takes you right out. It gives me very much Wattpad writing, and it doesn't seem to fit. It seems very it just doesn't seem to fit the rest of the writing, and so it's very frustrating that I'm trying to finish the series, because at this point I'm just trying to get through all 5 of these to appease my friend. So time for the big plot twist. We're in book 5. The stakes are high. Humanity is literally on the verge of dying. All these kingdoms have sent for their people. The daughter of the queen, who is now ascended to the throne, is trying to save everyone. She's trying her hardest, God love her. And the Demon Queen announces her entire goal is to kill Claire. But she can't do it by herself. She cannot be the one to kill Claire, which is why she created the 3 archdemons and assigned them to kill Claire. So here starts the downward spiral. Apparently, the world that we're in, it's not an isekai. This is not an isekai story that book 1 framed it to be. Plot twist. Her and Claire were both scientists. Claire was working with the United States, Ray was working for Japan, and the world was dying. Shocking, right? The world was dying, there were fewer resources, humans were dying out. They were part of teams by their governments tasked to figure out how to save humanity. And they discovered that in the means of quantumizing human souls and having a loop system cycle in which robots will clean and basically replenish the earth while humans are just floating around in their little tube wherever the souls are. And we will switch between cycles of science-based society and magic-based society, because they did actually find those magic stones which allow people to use their magic that everyone has for the most part. So that is by far the biggest shocker, that this is not an isekai, but rather just a very extreme sci-fi fantasy. And so why is this happening, you might say? Well, shocking. The Demon Queen is the original Ryohashi, who has been the only administrator for this quantum loop cycle for I don't even know how long. They might mention it, they might not. I can't remember if they did. But they were supposed to be 2 admins. Claire was also supposed to be by her side through this entire thing, and they would be the only ones with any memory that this is happening. But Ray finds out that Claire is very sick, and so she collapses when they're making it, and she has to quantumize her soul, and she actually goes ahead and starts the loop system way early to save the woman that she loves, because she does, even in that life, love her, and that is the entire point of the story. She loves her, and she's going to stop at nothing to save her. But going through life after life with your memories and a blank-minded Claire, it starts to get to her. And so, after so many lifetimes, she starts to realize the difference. She's grown, she's had all these memories, and Claire is the mind of a child each time, a teenager, when, you know, they find each other. And she's been going through these lives, and Claire is starting to realize, why do you know all these things? And she's starting to fall out of love with her, which is the one thing that she didn't want to do. So this mental turmoil that Ray is going through each time this happens causes her to create copies of herself and essentially tries to kill Claire because she can't do it herself. She needs somebody else to do it. And her entire goal is to have Claire die and then stop the loop system. And in the progression of humanity. So a quick rundown as the series progresses. It completely loses its original plot. It starts out with two girls, one's been isekai'd, and they fall in love during a revolution. One's trying to save the other, they fall in love, they get their happy ending. It's good, it's finished, but they continue it, and then they go and they're fighting to save humanity in this sci-fi version of the world, and it's going between magic-based and science-based society. And basically, the clone ends up winning. The Rei that we've been following through this entire book defeats the Demon Queen, the original Rei Ohashi, and they continue the world, and yay, everyone lives happily ever after, I guess? I don't know, it was kind of a disappointing ending, honestly, to me. And so I have no idea how we even got to this point. In no way when I started reading this series did I think that we would be seeing a demon queen. I didn't think that our main characters would be scientists in their original form. And I didn't think that we would be going from just trying to save a town from a revolution to deciding the fate of the entirety of humanity. All of this because she fell out of love with her girlfriend because she wasn't an admin and didn't have her memories. This was a wild ride, and the writing was okay. I'd give the writing, for the most part, in good scenes, I would give it a 4. In the Wattpaddy parts and with the interjections from Rei a lot, I would give it like a 2.5. Overall, I believe I gave the series a 3. It's not bad, it's not great, it's rated teen, so I'm definitely not the target audience for this, but like, I don't know. The animation was good. I liked the anime. So I would honestly have you go, if you want to watch this, go watch season 1. If you want to read it, read the first 2. You can literally go ahead and leave the last 3 out. Like, that's fine, unless you want to read something that goes really off the rails and you want to read a sci-fi. If you want to read an isekai, read the first 2. That's it. But that's really all I have to say for this. I wrote an entire script out for this, and I went off the rails for that too, so very appropriate for this video. But if you have read this, watched season 1 of the anime, I don't care if you've interacted with this at all. Drop your comments. What did you think? Did you interpret it like I did? Did you think it went off the rails? Did you think that, yeah, this is a normal progression for this? I would love to hear it. So yeah, basically that is it for this ranting video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Drop a like if you did. If you like stuff talking about books, anime, whatever, there will be more on this channel. We are just getting started here. So subscribe for more if you want. So that's gonna be it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, or at least got something out of it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!